Hey, welcome to Park Notes. I'm Parker Settecase. I'm a philosopher and theologian, and this is a channel where I help you study, think, and read more deeply. Now, a lot of what I do here on Park Notes is show you how to use notebooks in different ways in order to improve your life. They're going to be notebooks that help you think well, help you capture your experience, and help you manage your life. All while like Trojan horsing in a bunch of philosophy. But this video is going to be just a little bit different. I want to show you how to keep a nature log. Nature logs are awesome and they can totally improve your life. I started keeping one in order to help me capture my experiences out in nature. Now, a lot of what I do has to do with the life of the mind, the intellect, studying, reading, staying in an office, and learning things. But growing up, I was a huge turtle nerd, a huge frog nerd. I love herpetology, that is the study of amphibians and reptiles. But over the last 6 years, I was working on 3 master's degrees, and I lost touch with my love for nature. So I recently started keeping a nature log. This is a log for me to go out in nature and record what I see, record my experiences. If I see a cool bird, I'm going to take a picture of that bird. I'm going to come home, I'm going to look it up, and I'm going to draw a picture of it in here with pencil or with colored pencil, and I'm going to reflect on my experience that day in the woods. But I also see really cool animals when I'm walking my dogs, so I do that then as well. And usually when I see something cool, I try to either catch it for a picture or I'll just zoom in on it if I can. And I look through my phone and I have hundreds and hundreds of pictures of frogs and turtles and salamanders and all sorts of birds. And they're just sitting on my phone. Sometimes I scroll through, but it's pretty rare. So what I started doing is looking back through those photos and then remembering what was going on when I took that picture. What was it like to find that animal? What was I doing? Why was I there? Where did I find it? What was the temperature like? And what I found is now when I'm out walking the dogs or intentionally going out into forest preserves or around lakes and ponds and streams is that I'm more intentional with my surroundings. I'm listening for new bird calls. I might take a video and try to capture that bird's call so I can go home, look it up, and discover what bird that was. I'm looking in the grass for garter snakes or green snakes. I'm looking in the marginal plants to try and find bullfrogs. I'm flipping over logs to look for salamanders. So keeping this log has helped me rekindle my love for nature and get back in touch with the environment that I live in. That's like a much needed break that I need. I need to leave my office sometimes and go experience nature. But I've also found that trying to draw and sketch and illustrate provides a much needed mental break. When I'm trying to sketch a Midland painted turtle that I just found, I'm not thinking about all the projects that need to get done. I'm not thinking about my oil change. I'm focused in the moment trying to get these details. And I'm thinking about that animal that I experienced earlier. And another benefit that this log provides is that I'm really bad at drawing, and you'll see that later in the video. I mean, my sketches are pretty bad, but this gives me a whole new avenue to explore. I want to become a better artist. Now, I don't think I'm ever going to be a tremendous one, but I want to grow in my botanical art skills. I want to be capable enough to capture the animals that I'm finding. And so this provides a whole new arena for me to acquire skills, to grow in those skills, and to master those skills. Maybe in like 20 years. And so those are some of the benefits. Another is that I take notes in here. I write down the weather conditions. I write down why I chose that location. I write down some of my thoughts about the species that I found. And reflecting back on those experiences also continue to stoke my love for nature. I read back, oh yeah, that's why I like salamanders. I remember saying that. I remember when I found that, I felt like this. Oh yeah, that feels so cool. Let's go find some more salamanders. So this may not be for everyone, but if you love nature or if you want to be someone who loves nature, then you should consider getting yourself a nature log. It's really simple. Just get yourself a notebook. I like a blank one so I don't have any lines in the way of my drawings, but you may like a dotted one. Doesn't matter. Get a notebook and then get out into nature. Take some pictures of animals you find. Get yourself a good guidebook. There's this beautiful little pond life book. It helps you with limnology, the study of water environments. Or if you're into reptiles and amphibians like I am, National Audubon Society, grab yourself one of these. If you're into ornithology, the study of birds, then get yourself one of these field guide books. These are all going to be compendiums to help you identify the animals that you find out on your nature walks when you're looking for things to enter into your nature log. So that's a quick overview. This is a notebook to help you reconnect with nature. It's been helping me a lot, and it's been really good for my mental health. Now I'm going to go out on a limb here and show you some of the entries that I've put in my nature log. Don't judge too hard. My illustrations are childish. I know, I'm working on it. I will get better. This is the beginning. Hopefully this is the worst that they will ever be. So let's jump in and I'll show you a little bit more details of my own nature log. Okay, so let's take a look at my nature log. I keep it in this Lockbee wax canvas cover. This is their field journal cover, and they sent it to me for free to try out, and I liked it so much that I became an affiliate so that I could get you 10% off this very cover. So if you like this, you can get it for 10% off with the promo code PARKNOTES in all caps. That's PARKNOTES in all caps. Just visit the link in my description or in the pinned comment. If I can find find you guys a deal on something I like, then I'm definitely going to do that. So inside of my Lockbee cover, I have a Talons art creation notebook. I don't know a ton about this company, but you guys recommended them and I'm trying them out. So far, so good. The paper is really quality. It's really thick. There's no bleeding through. And I bet this would even be good for watercolor, though I don't know that for sure. So let me just walk you through a couple entries in my nature log. Hopefully this will give you inspiration to start keeping your own or give you a model of how you can do yours differently. But with that said, if you've been keeping your own nature log for a while, let me know in the comments and give me some tips because I'm very new to this and I need all the help I can get. So my first entry here is a northern leopard frog. I found this on a walk in a forest preserve. Specifically, it was in a vernal creek that runs under this bridge and it was just this big old fat brown northern leopard frog. This is pretty crazy because it was back in early February and you don't really see amphibians in the Chicagoland area in February. So I took a couple notes on the description. Looked like it was gravid, it was full of eggs, it was basking itself, and it was the first time I took my daughter to this particular forest preserve. I also included a note on northern leopard frogs. I've always loved these things, and since moving from the west burbs to the north burbs, I've seen a lot more of them. So I think it's cool to add your own little notes in your nature log. This is not for publication, this is for you. And you want to capture your experience, you want to capture your thoughts and your emotions and your feelings. How did your nature walk make you feel? I also am trying my hand at pencil art. Again, I'm not super good at it, and I got pretty lazy on this one. Here's another northern leopard frog. This was brownish purple. And it was another one from February. I put the Latin name here, Lithobates pipiens, and that's probably a bad pronunciation. Here I included the old Latin name, Rana pipiens. I thought that was interesting. There's a Rana virus going around right now, and it is associated with this species. But it's interesting that northern leopard frogs are no longer considered Rana, now they're Lithobates. So I actually found this northern leopard frog before the previous one, and I bring that up to show that my nature log is not chronological. So it's not like a diary. I don't do this every single day. I go out for a walk, I take cool pictures of cool animals, and then when I have time, I go back and I sketch those, or I use colored pencils and draw a picture of them in order to further reflect on that experience and capture it for me to go back and ruminate on. Here I have a picture of one of my favorite wetlands in February, and I think throughout the year it would be cool to go back to this very spot, take a picture, and sketch it in different seasons. Here's a sketch of a Blanding's turtle that I found, Emidoidea Blanding eye. I never know how to say it. I should probably learn Latin if I'm going to pronounce it for thousands of people to hear. But this was just a beautiful subadult that I found, which is super rare because they're an endangered species in Illinois. And I gave a little description of what it was like. Here's an entry of a really cool juvenile midland painted turtle. It had just such a beautiful plaster on the bottom part of its shell that I had to start using colored pencils because to do it in black and white would just not have captured the moment at all. Because of the tannins in the water, because of the color that leached out from the leaves where this turtle was living, its plaster on changed into like orange and dark purple. Just so beautiful. And this sketch certainly doesn't do it justice, but it's my first stab at it and it does help me remember that experience. So here I also included the temperature. I think this is going to be helpful next February. If we have an unseasonably warm day, I can look back at this journal and say, what was the temperature last year? Oh, it was actually 70. So, 50 in February is nothing. It's just another way for me to capture my experience throughout the year. Here's an entry on a post-thunderstorm walk. Sometimes I like to walk around my neighborhood and save turtles and frogs and crayfish off the street so that they don't get hit by a car. After a good spring or summer rain, a lot of animals go onto the road to heat themselves back up because the black asphalt holds some of the temperature from the day, and then that transfers to the cold-blooded animals and warms themselves back up. But unbeknownst to them, cars also use the road and run them over all the time. So if I can save a couple, I'm definitely going to do that. Here I found a viral crayfish, Faxonius virilis maybe? But this was a super cool crayfish. I tried to capture him reaching back to try and claw me. They do this. You can get your fingers right behind their claws and they can't pinch you then. But the little homie was trying to pinch me even though I was trying to save his life. What a dummy. Now I've caught crayfish my entire life, but I never bothered to look them up because I like herpetology and not crustaceans. But because I wanted to log this experience, I looked up what kind of crayfish it was and I found some cool information on them. So next time I find a crayfish, I'll be much more interested. Hey, is it a viral crayfish? Is it a rusty crayfish? Is it a prairie crayfish? What am I looking at here? So that's just another way that keeping a nature log has helped me become more attuned with the nature around me. Now again, I want to acknowledge these are not the best pictures, but this is for me. Now I am showing you guys and this video may get thousands of people watching it, so that's a little bit embarrassing, but I'm trying to inspire you to do your own thing. You don't have to show thousands of people, and you can use your own nature log just to hone your own skills of sketching and using colored pencils or watercolor or whatever kind of art you want to do. But I'm using this partially partially as practice and partially to log my own experience out in the wild with really cool animals. My goal is to become really good at it so that I am not embarrassed of what I draw. And I like the botanic art kind of style. So if I could draw like that, I would be very happy. Here's a garter snake. A lot of people call them garden snakes. It's actually a garter snake with a T. Looks like a garter that ladies used to wear. This was a big old female, super cool, right out by a mailbox in my neighborhood. Found this on a walk with the dogs, and she was super smart. I guess you don't get that big by being dumb, but my dogs were sniffing all around right close to her, and she didn't move because she knew if she moved, she's going to waste the energy she just stored up from basking in the sun, and the dogs who had not seen her yet would definitely see her. So she was just cool, calm, and collected, staying put until the very last moment where she would have had to flee, but I pulled them away and let her be. So that was awesome. Here I have an American bullfrog, a true frog from the Ranidae family. These things are awesome. I know a lot of people hate them, but I love a good bullfrog. A little bonus detail for you guys. They're called bullfrogs because their call sounds like a male bull in the summertime. It's like meow. I love these guys so much. And then lastly here I have a really cool blue spotted salamander that I found in my window well. These guys are mole salamanders, so they spend most of their time underground, and they are nocturnal, so they come out during the night to eat roly-polies and centipedes and worms and all sorts of critters. They are insectivores. You can find these guys under logs and in the woods and sometimes in your window well. Okay, so that's it. That's a quick look at my own nature log. I hope to fill this thing up and share the contents with my daughter someday. Say, hey, I found this when I was walking you. You were only 3 months old. Look at this cool animal. Look at this cool frog. Look at this cool snake. I'm going to teach you the Latin names. I'm going to teach you all about these animals that I've found in research and logged in this nature log. So hopefully this becomes like a Settecase family tradition. And if you like this, you should do it with your family as well. Now, some of you may be saying, hey, I don't live in nature. I don't see that many animals. I'm a little bit nervous to go out in the woods on my own. You can find yourself a bird watching crew. People get together and they look for birds. They bring binoculars. I think a lot of those folks don't actually believe in bringing cameras. They just want to watch them in situ. They want to see them in their situation, and they let the moment go. That's cool. Make a mental note, come back and log that in your nature log. So go with a friend, be safe, but get out in nature and find some animals. Go for a walk. If you're in like Chicago, I don't know, there's tons of rats. That's kind of like wildlife. You can see them. But there's the Chicago Botanic Gardens. There are places that you can go to experience nature. And I think you should, and I think you should log it away for future reference, for the benefit of your future self. Okay, so that's going to do it for this video. If you guys like this, then leave me a like. And if you have any more tips on keeping a nature log, please leave those in the comments, like right here, right now. Do that. I want to hear from you guys. And if you made it this far into the video, then you are awesome. Leave me a turtle emoji in the comments so I know who the real ones are. And let me know if you think you're going to start keeping your own nature log. All right, I'll catch you guys next time.